Hello and welcome back to the Necromancer's Tale. We are going to bring back our first animated corpse today. We've got a couple of quests that we're in the process of, but things are going pretty well. We're on our way to get a witch knife at the Dead Men's Cathedral, which we can get and then consecrate, and then I think we have everything we need for animate. We're getting a death shroud tomorrow, which will allow us to repair our skeletal minions. And then we still have to find a friend for the seance ritual. I'm honestly not sure where we're going to get one. Hopefully Diedrich will come out of his stupor soon. But other than that, I think we just have to do some work.
There you are.
If we have work today. Which I guess we don't. So maybe we are actually just waiting for midnight. We'll check back in just in case.
There you are.
Yeah, no, I guess you can only work like once per chapter, so. One thing that we failed to do before, and I wouldn't actually mind just going to check this, is just going to the Docks Tavern to see whether or not the Forge Master and my aunt are having a meeting. Aha! As I entered the dimly lit tavern, I spot a young man beside the bar waving energetically at me. At first I didn't recognize him, but soon my memory seeped back and the face grew familiar. He'd grown taller with age, and although still thin, his body was broader than before. No longer the lanky young man who had scrambled over walls and gates in a panic like some unsteady calf. Only his moppish hair remained the same, forever buoyant above his gap-toothed smile. Hello, Flip.
I'll be damned. All right, I'm Flip, a roguish childhood friend of yours.
A friend?
I'm not back in Mons but one day, and look who I run into.
Fantastic.
Last I heard, you were off marching and soldiering like old Garnet.
Just realized this game is in my wish list. It's a long time. It looks so cool. It's very good. The story is like engrossing. And it seems like there's a lot of branches you can go down, so. I did go to the two taverns. Yeah, the Slums and the Fancy Wine Tavern as well. For a while, yes.
Got tired of the routine, eh? How's a man supposed to wander off for 3 weeks of summer sailing when he's got a sergeant of arms watching his every move? You'd never catch me in a uniform. Who would have guessed we'd have a reunion so soon?
Oh, I need a trusted friend. Just straight to business. No, what have you been up to? His eyes dart around checking for interlopers, but the curled grin never leaves his lip. It practically invited one into conspiracy.
Had to spend a spell of time outside of Mons. Not entirely by choice. But then again, not entirely unwelcome either. Saw some more of Ralston, some more of the Adriatic, bit of Prussia, the Balkans even.
Oh, wow.
Never could stay in one place for long. Wandering years, I think they call it.
What made you leave Mearns? Few people with too much say-so, if you ask me. Say something the wrong way, and suddenly you're stuffing all your shirts into a bindle and sneaking onto the first barge out of Bethlehem. I'm not gonna. I only have 1 point left. All shirts, no trousers? You got more than one pair, fancy pants? Why did you really leave? Convince him to open up. I've got charm to spare. Gerhardt's daughter, Amelia, certainly thought so. His talk trails off for a second or two, the dreamy look in his eyes, then a devilish grin. The old man himself not so impressed with my charms. Caught me, how can I say this? Mild embrace? Mid embrace? Lucky to be made it out with even my trousers. Surprised he didn't have you killed. You're not the only one. I think the last might have something to do with that. Instead, the miser put the squeeze on my old man and said he'd never work the docks unless I'd left. And that was that. Flip shrugged his shoulders as though abandoning his home was the most matter-of-fact thing a man could do. I'd have known him to be especially close to his father, but I suppose some obligations could not be easily ignored. We hate Gerhardt, so Flip seems like a natural friend to me. How does it feel to be back? He shrugs in his exaggerated way, evidently hoping it was a sufficient reply. When he saw my curiosity was not sated.
The streets are all familiar, only they aren't anymore. When you travel, you see things that remind you of Mons. When you're here, you see things that remind you of your travels.
That's travel, all right. He shrugged again, not ready to elaborate further. Why'd you come back? Why did I come running back home after years of adventure? I ran out of coin. Gerhardt's daughter has gone off to boarding school, so my old man's convinced the merchant king of Marnes will be no threat to her virtue. I'm not exactly eager to run into the skinflint. I need a trusted friend to visit my father's remains. I'm not sure about that, Turg. What for? Oh man, do we tell him the truth? I feel like every time I tell somebody the truth, it's a bad idea. You know? You said got everything for animate? I heard got everything for anime. Yeah, we're getting some skeletons. They're gonna have hair that just like sticks up in all the most like ridiculous ways. Real big hip bones. Yeah, this guy is shifty. You're not wrong. But also, like, I probably shouldn't be saying I'm conducting necromancy in the middle of a bar. I'm just gonna say I need to do this to say goodbye. I'll think about it.
Goodbye.
Maybe I'll just tell him. I'm conducting a ritual and I need to contact him. You're what? That doesn't seem wise. God damn it.
Goodbye.
Oh yeah, I came in here for a reason. Sailor in full flow explaining the finer technicalities of nautical engineering. His companion seems impressed. Of course, I know a thing or two about the ships myself from my time in the Mediterranean fighting the Corsair. This man was talking a load of hogwash. Some merchants. Oh, Svit is down here. Svit was the other person I was thinking about talking to. Oh. No, I can't talk to those merchants anymore. Okay. Now I can. So merchants were out for drinks after work. They seem to be in good spirits. Okay. No. I thought maybe Svit would be willing. I guess maybe it's still a little early. So it's midnight now.
Going out? At night? Hold on while I open the gate. Be careful.
I think that's our lady friend. As I step into the chapel, I feel a cold air from my graveyard against my back until the last solid door swung shut behind me. My eyes were slow to adjust to the murky dark around me, but in time the shapes of pews and the altar made themselves known. The sight of the holy shrine drew an involuntary shiver from my spine, and I felt queasy. I pressed forward. I waited. The chapel remained as inert as when I had entered. Nothing moved, and the candle flames seemed barely to flicker against their wicks. Then a gust of wind caressed me from the side.
Quiet, aren't you? Then again, perhaps you were just biding time, huh?
This is my witch. This woman magically appears out of nowhere beside me. The gentle, inviting smile of a matron, thin with long black hair that had only just begun to turn brittle with age.
Do you know why you've come here?
Yes, for a witch's knife.
Or is it just some happy twist of fate that has brought you and I together?
Come to demand your assistance. I've heard you're an expert in unconventional matters. The woman smiled, all warmth and comfort without an ounce of condescension in it.
That is certainly a broad description, isn't it? But you are not mistaken. There are many things I know, which those inside the city are happy to keep outside their walls. We shall see what nature my assistance takes. For now, let us talk.
Best friends. Perhaps a holy place is not the right venue for my questions. On the contrary, it is just the right place. Few will come to intercede so close to the graveyard, and those that do will be greeted by a broken door and a vague desire to return to their beds. I have cast a ward upon the building. I assume that is why you came to speak with me, because I know how such things are done. Indeed. I do not share my knowledge lightly, but I believe you are capable of putting it to good use. Why are you willing to help me? Our rows of similar obstacles, similar foes that we must pass. I have seen that your path will bring justice against those who have wronged me, that those who have cast me out and stolen the blood of my life. Why should I not wish to facilitate such an outcome? Who is our common enemy? You'll learn that soon enough. Who are you? I'm different things to different people at different times. To you, I can be an ally and a friend with a mutual interest. There was a life I lived before and one I will live hence, but we need only concern ourselves with the present. Your ward is impressive. Are there other spells you know? Of course, but they are mine to cast. You shall have your own. What kind of assistance can you offer me? I will offer what you need when you need it, no more and no less. When you know your desires, you can come to me again. And why are you willing to help me? Oh, yeah. Have you seen the future? I have seen the waves it makes traveling back through time. I require a witch's black-handled knife. How fortunate, then, that you are speaking to a witch. I have a blade, but I guess I need a blade. I feel like she's not just going to give me her knife. Then you will give me your knife? Oof. I don't have enough to impress her. Your road cannot be too easy. I see a longer path before your goals are met. Bring me a knife of your own, and perhaps I will consecrate the steel. Perhaps you can consecrate this blade. Indeed, I can, as long as you use it to wreak havoc upon our enemies. The knife shall be enchanted to your needs. Step back. I guess I just had a knife on me. She takes the simple knife from me and runs her fingers along the blade until the blood begins to seep from her fingertips. She mutters strange rhythmic words in a language I did not know and allowed the crimson liquid to run along the metal, where it was absorbed like water into thirsty earth. As she spoke, the features of her face became imprecise and hazy, as though my eyes could find no focus. At times, she seemed to be a young maiden, and others an old crone, and then again, the woman I had spoken to only a moment before. When her incantation stopped, solidity returned to her face. She looked up to me and smiled. Here you are, young lord. Put the blade to good use and see our enemies undone. Do not forget, Turg. The path you walk has been provisioned. We will see each other again before long. And again, I was alone in the chapel, a ceremonial and theme to my possession. Hell yeah. Witch's black-handled knife. Yeah, I don't even remember where we got a knife from. Mana boost when worn or held. Oh, that's nice. Okay. I believe that means I can now summon the undead. Athame? Anthemi? Athame? So here's what I'm thinking. I need to summon the undead in a cemetery. If I do it in town, people are going to see me. But I have a tunnel into my house that I could hopefully hide my undead in. If I do it over here, I have to still go through the slums, which seems kind of dangerous. But there is a graveyard right here by Svit. So I figure if I go there, raise the undead, I can just cut through Miller's farm. And ideally, nobody should see me. Bring these together with a skeleton to the cemetery at night. Oh, but I do need a full skeleton. So actually, I probably have to do it here. Oh, I can actually do it right there. No, let's go to the other one. I think it's the smart choice. Okay, hold on. I've never been up here. I'm just realizing. Couple of ghouls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why don't we just go right here? That guy frenzied, so he's gonna get a few free attacks in. Ow. What do we got left? 3 points. No, 1 point. He's gonna frenzy. This could actually be bad. No, we're okay. He says, doing exactly 99 points of damage to the ghoul, leaving it with 1 HP. Okay, there we go. Oh, wow, I've never been up here, I don't think. Investigate the area more closely. Oh. No, we have been here, but we've never been able to succeed on that investigate check because it's really tough. Or at least we got to beat up some ghouls. I don't believe there's any kind of experience system. Certainly not that we've encountered, so. And there are grizzly bears, so I also don't really want to fight them. I do kind of want to go into Barbara's house in the middle of the night and kill her to get that necklace back, but all things with due time. So that's the crypt. That's Svitz. Which means this is the graveyard. Yes! I could feel the dead calling. This was the perfect location to perform the animate ritual. However, I was not carrying a suitable skeleton. What do you mean I'm not carrying a suitable skeleton? Wolves? Uh-oh. Did I even walk into a combat zone here? Well, at least they're not too tough. He says. They're not too bad. I put all those bones in my chest. Yeah, but I don't think bone and skeleton count the same. Because there's a bunch of times that I've gone around into the crypts and they've been like, oh, there's a skeleton in here. I'm dead. Yeah. Okay, well, here's the good news. When I load this quick save, it's gonna be back at the other graveyard. So I could go get a skeleton, question mark. An Elstrix crypt. Yeah, so like skeleton. Worn and aged looking certainly, but surely suitable for animating the ritual. I take it. Oh. Okay. All right, tell you what, I think I'm just gonna raise it here because otherwise I gotta walk really far. It'd be a different story if I killed someone maybe in the slums. I don't think anyone's coming out here in the middle of the night. I stood alone in the clearing, the materials of the ritual close at hand. I studied the scene around me. I cast my eyes upon the many-colored grasses that surround me, the dull stone of the graves, and the somber leaves of the lone tree above. These hues seemed to dance against my eyes. The crisp night welcomed me and seemed eager to witness my next move. I hefted the skeleton in my arms and moved to the chosen spot. Delicately arranged the bones to fit within the area where I would carve the glyph. Carefully laying out the inanimate body, I take a step backwards and drew out the witch's knife. I felt a surge against my grip and as though it was attempting to retreat from the coming ordeal. Hold the blade firmly. I tightened my grip and in time the writhing hilt began to calm its otherworldly tremors. With an eager hand, I stabbed into the dirt and dragged the blade against the soil, opening a great gash into the earth. I half expected the ground to bleed as I carved one line after another in accordance with the diagram in the spellbook. One by one, I placed the black candles into their proper configuration, feeling the potency of the ritual grow with each motion. My only problem with this is I'm leaving an awful lot of evidence in a very commonly tread graveyard. Performing black magic. I withdrew the spellbook and studied the words within. As I spoke, the candles blazed brightly, one by one, and the gashes that I had cut into the earth glowed with an otherworldly hue. Yes! Rise! Rise, my minion of darkness! I like that we took him from our crypt. When the last syllable escaped my tongue, a stillness crept over my surroundings. The sounds that had played against my ears went silent. The colors became muted, and at last the bones began to stir. The figure tentatively moved, righted itself, and stood before me. I turned my head in its direction, and although the skull had only teeth, I imagined a sinister grin forming across the cavity that was its mouth. I grinned back. Oh, and then I passed out. Chapter 6, Dominion of Phobos. My pleased expression lingered only for a moment. The skeleton stepped towards me, and with each crack of its bony feet, a tremendous pain spread throughout my body. I felt as though I had exerted myself for days, as though I had undergone a great ordeal. I became the very embodiment of exhaustion. The landscape around me swirled and spiraled and then coalesced into a single shadowy blur. I felt myself falling, but the descent was endless, forever waiting the moment of impact. Don't shout for help. Scramble forward. There was no direction for which I could advance. All the space around me had lost its shape, and I was nowhere. The blur became a tunnel, its walls writhing and unsteady. From behind me, I heard a terrible snarling and the cracking of bone, the snapping of sinew. Strange creatures lumbered through the misshapen passage, their bodies made of shards and shadows. If they caught me, I felt they would envelop my body and gash it into 1,000 different places.
He is not as sturdy as we'd hoped.
Be kinder to the poor lad. He's only just begun to learn the art.
The voices around me had no fixed location. I looked back over my shoulder only to see the shadowy beasts in eager pursuit. When I turned towards, a young man stood before me wearing the clothes of a soldier. He turned in my direction and frowned. No, that's not nearly fast enough. You'd think after all the training that might have prepared me for this. I'll have to run much faster than that. I pushed past the apparition, brushing his shoulder as I stood. A moment later, I heard the gnashing of teeth and a horrendous shriek uttered in my own voice. Ah!
A pity that he could not help himself.
The past is rarely a help to anyone. It brings only trouble and pain.
But all will be okay. I know it.
Ooh, the young woman, the old woman, the regular woman.
We must not be wasteful. Never wasteful.
A new voice had joined the chorus, brittle and chorus like gravel. Who are you?
You ask questions that do not matter.
I mean, ahead of me, another figure materialized within the endless tunnel. He stood as if behind a counter, offering up a phantom pint of ale. All this work for nothing, then? What a waste. I rushed past, feeling the shadows at my heels. Again, a cacophony of torn flesh and screams erupt from behind me.
Spent. You must stop the hunt.
Ah, but what can we do? It is in his hands.
We could lend the child a bit of help.
But too much will make him weak. He must learn for himself.
Yes, he must not become frail, but he is of no use if obliterated.
I wonder if this is the Lich. The gravel voice was booming, its words a clear command, an irresistible force of intent.
Very well. Very well.
I felt the shadows nip at my heels, and their touch was like a cold spear of ice cutting against my flesh. The pain caused me to stumble, and I was sure that the strange forms would overtake me at any moment. But I heard a cry from the motherly woman, a word loud and clear that I did not understand, a word of power. The walls of the tunnel began to break, and great thunderous cracks that spread across their surface. The shadows pitched from side to side and screeched with a glassy tenor. The rending of the walls intensified, and soon they collapsed inwards, not from above, but from all sides. I fell to my knees and covered my head with my hands, but I could feel the imploding tunnel crush my body. The pain was all-encompassing, but through it I could hear the scratching and moaning of the shadows which had hunted me. They were all trapped beneath the monumental weight. Ages passed, and I sensed the heavens circling overhead. At last I heard the shifting of stone and felt my broken body pulled free of the wreckage. I was aware of swaying forms above me in a changing wind. I felt myself floating, with shadows passing overhead at intervals, until I came to a labored stop and was dragged once more, this time across a sandy, coarse surface. Then the motion stopped.
That's enough.
We cannot approach any further. This will have to do.
Look how delicate he is, shielding his head just so. Such a shame we cannot tend to him ourselves. The figures lingered above me, while a little while longer, then evaporated into the passing wind. As my mind turned black, a voice new but distantly familiar emerged from the void. It was faint, but even so, an intense anger permeated every syllable. Mana increased to 1. They help you now, but it's a sham, a pantomime created to beguile you. Do not trust the voices that beckon. This is my father. They will undo you. A deep and primordial stupor engulfed me. I felt as though I had not yet been born, as though my being were still swirling in the uniformed morass that would become the universe. My memories like imagined dreams of the future, and my future was a faint echo of the past. Oh God, where am I? Only briefly did existence return to me. Figures moved about me, their words muffled and the rhythm of their speech staccato.
He seems more responsive. I wonder what the young lord remembers. I am Donald Campbell of Glasgow, the head doctor here.
I'm in the hospital.
He has been muttering in his sleep. Strange things. Strange places.
Uh-oh. I hope they didn't find the skeleton next to me.
Not safe. Dangerous names to speak in such a voice.
The words reached me as I had just enough time to detect a sinister intonation before my mind dissolved into the subconscious. When I next awoke, I found a small beetle trudging across the fjords of fabric that ensnarled me. At last, I realized that I was in a bed, with the sheets tucked tightly around my body. The beetle continued its solitary trek, disappearing behind a fold in the fabric. When I looked up, I saw a witchly figure standing over me, robes draped over her thin shoulders, smiled with an uneasy grin.
It seems our patient has awoken.
Another voice taunted from beyond the corridor.
Let us hope this waking puts those strange mutterings to rest.
You are too optimistic, sister. Such things do not leave the mind easily.
She smiled at me again as footsteps clapped against the stone floor, growing louder and louder, boring into my skull until at last they came to a halt beside me.
His condition is much improved. Good afternoon. Do you know who I am?
I do, but
I
only
am
because
Donald
you
Campbell
really
of
like
Glasgow,
me.
the head doctor here.
Some wretch come to ruin me.
Ah, it seems your dreams and your reality are still in discord. Worry not, your confusion will be gone soon enough.
His words cut through me, and I felt a great unease about his knowledge of my future. My foggy mind could not see the truth. In the final embers of my consciousness, I heard the man mutter a command.
Seems well enough. The twins can tend to the patient from here.
I entered the black again, but after what felt like only an instant, a gasp pulled me into the world of the living. The light had changed. Everything was coated in midnight blue. I could not help but notice the fluttering curtains at a nearby window. An edge of the delicate fabric had caught a splinter of wood and risked tearing in the breeze. Diedrich! My boy! Just the kind of guy I need to go into a crypt with. I turned to see a familiar figure sitting upright in the bed next to me, but I couldn't recall neither name nor how we knew each other. The friendly-looking man squinted at me, as much in a stupor as I was. Oh, it can't be you. Yesterday you were my grandmother. The day before, the fish peddler from the market. By tomorrow, you'll be the queen herself. Too many people at once. Words flowed from my mouth without conscious thought. I'm already a monarch, but my kingdom is long since dead. Not much of a kingdom then, is it? Bit of a heavy thought that, likely to make the eyes droop. In fact, it's making me eyes. And with that, my friend slumped into a stupefied slumber, which I soon followed. When I next opened my eyes, I was sure that I saw my double. Saw a double, and yet my senses seemed more firm than before. Two faces with mops of bright red hair regarded me smiling.
Looks like we finally got some signs of life. I am Annie, a healer from far off Ireland.
About time, too. I was worried the doctor had given us a corpse. I'm Connor, a healer from far off Ireland.
A fine-looking corpse that would be.
Nice. Let's bang, okay?
Aye, but look at his brow. It's furrowed deep. Poor thing must be having dark dreams.
I'd say those dreams suit him if he wasn't running such a fever. I'll fetch some
Educated.
cool water.
And I'll get some fresh linens.
I slipped away again, but the spell of darkness was short this time. I regained consciousness and found the two of them still tending to my feverish body, and in this way the morning passed with me ebbing in and out of sleep, forever greeted by their tender, delicate attention. It was only by late afternoon that I felt well enough to sit up. The two faces met mine, and it occurred to me that they must have been brother and sister, for nothing else could explain the abundant similarities in their features and mannerisms. Well, they might just both be Irish.
There we are.
We all kind of look the
Properly awake
same.
at last.
How are we feeling, love?
I'm not sure.
But you're speaking crisp and clear at least.
That's a fine sign. We'll have you on the mend soon.
I'm Annie, and this is my brother Connor.
She blushed a little and gestured towards
Perhaps
him.
it would be best if we assessed your clarity of mind. Let's begin with the last thing you remember.
Well, I was in the graveyard, raising the dead back to life. I recall a strange place, a tunnel, many voices. I was being
Plenty of
chased.
tunnels around town. Could be you bumped your head in one of those.
Must be. I was quite sure that the cause of my condition was no mere bump of the head. The things I had witnessed were no simple flights of fancy or tricks of imagination. Strange forces were beginning to orbit around me. Tell us your name. I'll take the military route. I'm a soldier. The last few things have seen me roaming the kingdom in service of our military. I've only returned to Marnes upon hearing of my father's death. Well, your memory's not wrong there. You have our condolences. Do you have questions? The pair kept finishing each other's thoughts, tripping over each other to engage my attention. This was quite endearing, though in my befuddled state, it was also confusing. How did I get here? Some workers from the docks found you in a nearby alley. They seemed to think you were drunk until one of them recognized you. How you ended up there is beyond us. Are there other patients? Much of the hospital was converted into a fever containment wing. We've had to squeeze you into one of these rooms. Diedrich is here, sleeping in a bed beside mine, his brow furrowed by the agitation of some strange dream. Diedrich, loyal Diedrich, on the mend at last after the unfortunate incident with the grave mist trap. How long have I been here? 3 or 4 days. Gave the nuns plenty of reasons to bless themselves out of fear. Who are you guys? Sister and I came down from the van from far off Ireland. We've got a bit of medical experience, but the doctor has been training us to be surgeons. When you lot are all tucked in and sleeping, you try to sneak in some reading, and he tries to sneak in a nap. Well, where am I? The hospital, obviously. I'm growing tired. See how he yawns, sister. Time to rest, isn't it? We can't have you getting worse now that you've learned what a chatterbox you are. Annie looks like she could become a very attractive zombie. I was thinking the same thing, yeah. Everyone I run into, I'm like, they'd make a great zombie. The siblings smile and step away as they leave the last remaining energy drains from my body, as though I've been waiting for their departure before granting me release. I lapse once again into the turbulent slumber which had colored my days. They told me, like, not to trust the voices. My dad told me not to trust the voices, but part of me is like, are the voices the witches or are the voices the doctors? Because technically they were all different sets of voices. A clatter of sounds bring me back to the realm of the living, and I hear the rustle of starched fabric, the clinking of small metal objects, and hushed murmurs that for once seemed more pleasant than conspiratorial. The stiff turning of paper at last convinced me to open my eyes. I had hoped to see my spellbook, but instead I was greeted by the sight of Annie sitting in a wicker chair with a large but conventional textbook on her
Hello
lap.
again.
Feeling a bit more sprightly, are we? Connor, standing on the other side of my bed, watched me attentively, beamed in a bright smile. If you're up for it, why don't you get out of bed and have a walk around? A stretch and a chat would do you good. The Baron will be coming by for an inspection shortly. When a man like that comes by, you tend to stop what you're doing right away. We gotta get the hell out of here before the Baron finds us. As I stood, I recalled in a panic the incriminating items that had been in my possession when I collapsed during the ritual. I rummaged in my bag but couldn't find the spellbook or the knife, nor the other arcane items and weapons. Uh-oh. Diedrich?
Hello?
It's clear that the grave mist had not released him entirely. I have to admit, I was happy to see you get rolled in here. Once they told me you'd recovered, of course. I've been starved for a chat. What happened to you? They won't tell me much. I'd rather not talk about it right now. Maybe it's this place. Sucks all the conversation out of you. Take it a bit easy, will you? You'll miss a lot when you're stuck in bed for days. Who are these creepy twins? Best thing about this place, these two. He spoke the words loudly so that the twins could hear his praise. Connor smiled and shook his head, and he pursed her lips into a grin, never taking her eyes off the text. They're the only ones here with a sense of humor. They've been taking special care of you these last few days. If I didn't know better, I'd wager they fancied you. Any news from the city? Old Flip has come back. Gerhardt's wise to his return. I saw the rascal around town, right? What do you know about the hospital? Head doctor's a strict old fellow, only lets us leave this room once in a while, keeps the door locked. All right. One more thing been troubling me. Right before I ended up here, the last thing I remember is coming by your house. My memory is hazy, but the place seems to be covered in fog, real thick, curling in from the stones and branches. I stepped into it and thwack. Next thing I know, I'm here. Even the twins won't tell me what happened. Do you have any clue? Here's the thing, right? Like, Diedrich's gonna come with me and do necromancy, so I feel like I have to let him in on it. I might be to blame. I've been experimenting with some old decks, wards, and protections. Dark magic, you mean? He blurted out the words with a crack, then immediately lowered his voice. That sort of thing is forbidden, not to mention it's dangerous. I wound up in the hospital. What were you thinking? I had to protect myself. Strange secretive forces arrayed against me, Diedrich. They were marshaled against my father, and they're coming for me. You nearly got me killed. I'd think twice before you dabbled in this any further. Uh-oh. Oh, geez. I didn't realize the sisters were sitting right there. God damn. Is this chest full of my stuff? It's not. Who's Leland? The boy cast his eyes downwards, unready to meet my gaze.
I am Leylon, a thoughtful boy.
A thoughtful skeleton. Was there something you needed? How'd a lad like you end up in here? I fell out of a tree. Robin said if I climbed the tree, I'd find some treasure, only I didn't. She won't get in trouble because I said something. No, of course not. I really appreciate that I'm like making friends with all the children. Are you the only kid here? How are the staff? Annie and Connor are of kind. The others are very clear with the rules. I like that. Had you explored the hospital at all? It's against the rules to go wandering off. I didn't know that at first, so I walked around one afternoon and found a little hole in the wall in the storeroom just off your own room. Big hole, really. Big enough for you, even. I think it headed towards the place where they keep the really sick folks, the ones who can't walk anymore. I turned right around to the big... Next time I went in there was a big old bookshelf in the way. Thanks, Leland. You're a champ. Mole Flanders. Chop, 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 chop. No. Just ravings of an old man. The Final Dance. This was a book that we saw in one of our weird dream sequences. Young man came to Mars, his eyes wild and closing, absent, caked in mud. For 3 days he thrashed and sweated but didn't wake. Few of his words made sense, but he kept shouting the name Villa Samodiva. Had she tempted him? Could they not have one last dance? On the 4th day he awoke, though a strange malady remained on him. He refused all food and water and would speak only of Villa. Her gown of moonbeams and her hair adorned with wild flowers. Villa Samodiva. So this is the witch. The man continued to refuse all food and water despite my wife's pleading. He would only say he wanted nothing but to be back with Villa. Villa Samodiva. I gotta write that down. Villa Samodiva. Name of witch. I really appreciate that they give you a journal. So I guess I can't move this bookcase, at least not yet. We better talk to the sisters. Girl of good form and a jawline would look perfect as one of my regional skeletons. I approached the 2 nuns who had been tending to me. It was strange to see them so clearly. The younger of the 2 had something tucked under her robes when she spied me. Ah, you must be the harpies that were standing over my body. You should know better than to torment a patient like that. Harpies? That's some way to speak to the people who treated you. Though I suppose you aristocratic sorts never learned any manners, not with those private tutors of yours. You're no longer confined to your bed. I suppose that means we'll soon have one less patient. Yes, thank Christ for that. You should know better than to use the Lord's name in vain. Unholy chatter, that's all that comes from his mouth. The 2 women scowled at me. I have matters to attend to, be at peace. She bowed and turned back to her book while her compatriot turned towards me and appeared to study my features. I didn't know what she was assessing, but her scrutiny made my skin itch. Was she a surveyor sent to assess my state? Some spy to uncover my recent studies? An option was unavailable due to a failed trust test. There's something strange about you, something unholy. The sooner the doctor has you out of here, the better.
Hello.
Can't go on the stairs yet. You might slip and fall. Okay. Drago. The weather dockhand nodded.
Me.
Oh. I see you walking around at last. I was wondering how long you'd be sleeping. The whole ward was starting to worry. About me? More of the things you were muttering in your sleep. Strange clouds of this, torment and winds of that. It's enough to make a sea hand remember the stories that get traded on a creaking galleon. Hopefully it's out of your system. How'd you end up here? Angelina, who narrowed her eyes in response. Same way as her, there was a brawl on the dock. Some young Venetian blokes tried to pull a fast one. Can't say we didn't wallop them good, but one of the rascals was quicker than a knife than I was with a club. Connor says I got missed me by something or another in an inch. What's your take on the hospital? Treat my wounds. The staff? Connor's quiet, knows what he's doing, his sister too. The others, they think I've been cooped up in here too long. Anything weird? There's something odd about the contagion wing, but I can't bring myself to take a closer look. Whole area seems off. I know a fellow who got taken there a few weeks ago, a swabby by the name of Yaroslav. Poor chap wasn't on land for an hour before they carted him off. Have you heard from him since? It's like the man stopped existing. The bloke had seemed eager to get on the next boat out of Marnes, had a wife he was rushing off to marry, some such thing. You figured he'd at least want to send her word about the delay. Best to keep the infected in isolation. Didn't seem that sick to me. Okay. I recognized the guard from the northern gate. Her sour expression did not invite conversation, but I appreciate the same. What's landed you in this slaughterhouse?
That meant to be some joke. I broke a rib busting up a fight on the docks. I am Angelina, the North Gate guard.
I think you're the one who let me out. She offered no further elaboration and seemed disinclined to revisit whatever episode had caused her injury.
The sooner over here, the better. Can't stand hospitals.
She should trust us. One does miss the outside world a bit. Aye, that and the pay you lose when not working. You've been injured before? Of course. What do you think of the facilities? Suitable for their purpose, though the contagion wing seems less than inviting. I expected her to expand on her observation, but it seems she had voiced the entirety of her opinion. She let the silence linger in front of her, making clear it was not a pause between thoughts. Any thoughts on the staff? Ha! She rolls her eyes, finally animated beyond the meager syllable she had previously offered. Half of them are as likely to put you in here as they are to heal you. Those 2 redheads are fine, but the nuns too. But the other blokes running around, I wouldn't trust them to spit on you if you were on fire. That all? I'll spend a skill point on her. This whole lot is strange. Odd men from abroad do whatever the doctor tells them. They rub me the wrong way to be sure, but Giovanni is the real rat in the barrel. Got word he's been trading stolen goods on the dock, consorting with the Shroud. All matter of petty felony, but the guard captain says I can't make a move on the doctor's little cousin. Not unless I have something proper to pin on him. But no worries there. Dunce like that is bound to slip up soon enough. Alright, she's bored. At this, her voice halted as almost though she's been reading aloud and reached the end of whatever passage had interested her. She made no attempt to bid me farewell, but it was clear the conversation had run its course. Her intent didn't seem rude, but rather efficient. I surmised the small outpouring she had provided was already uncharacteristic. This man looked gravely ill and did not move. The young doctor finished jotting down a notation in the small ledger he was carrying, raised his head, a lock of ginger hair to the side. The rest is done well. You're starting to look like a proper aristocrat again. I hope you won't mind marching around the hospital and giving orders. I prefer a more delicate touch. You aim to convince me to do your bidding? Jeez, man, both of these twins just want to bang me. I just meant I'm not the commanding type. Pity. In any case, your complexion... I need a Dami mommy to step on me. It's not going the other way around. Your complexion is finally regaining its proper hue, and I'm happy to see none of your muscles have become bedsore. How's your head? Clear? His concerns seemed genuine, but I had no intention of sharing my innermost troubles with the man. Perhaps I could tease his intentions, but I resolved not to divulge too much. You'll have to stop worrying about me at some point. He lets out a short chuckle, his white teeth beaming behind the copper beard that lined his strong chin. That might be, but for the time being, you're under my care, and I intend to worry plenty. Anything you needed? You spend all your time here? In the hospital? Just about. In this wing, specifically? Not quite. Annie and I help in the contagion wing every now and then. This is a holiday compared to that place. His eyes dropped away as he spoke, and he looked back towards his ledger, idly flipping through the pages. A healer confronted with a thing he can't heal. It's no easy burden. Annie says it's something we can't help, something we need to get used to, but it doesn't make it much easier. How are the other patients? Doing well. Most of them won't be in the hospital much longer. Dockhand has a sturdy constitution. The guard stuff his nails. Young lad's a young lad. You were the most worrisome patient, but now that you're up and about, I think the worst is past. You're very handsome, Connor. And you're very forward. I should talk to the others. His lips pursed as he says my name, and it occurs to me that it was the first time I had heard it escape his mouth. Just as we finished the conversation, I heard the front door of the hospital burst open. A commotion echoed up the stairs, and presently my uncle appears on the floor, his white teeth gleaming behind the thick beard which masks his face. Nephew, you're already up and about. I was worried beyond all sense, but it seems your recovery is well on its way. I shall have to make a sizable donation to this hospital for their Herculean efforts. I always found von Scheffelden to be an odd sort, but if your condition is any indication, the man has cultivated a fine staff. He strides toward me and grabs me by the shoulders. A bit thin, but nothing a hearty meal or two won't fix. How was the home? How was mother? Your mother is fine. I spoke with her yesterday. The house, however, is inaccessible at the moment. Is it because I set a poison trap in front of it? I'm steadily re-establishing order in this town. It won't be long before the strange happenings that have plagued us lately are resolved. Good news for you, though. The statue I commissioned in honor of your father is now installed outside the cathedral. We owe him so much for his heroic leadership that the terrible uprising, that unnatural uprising, I hope this brings you some comfort. Nice. The military and the gentry like me more. He smiled at me, genuine and tender, but then my uncle changed tack. Tell me, though, was there anything in particular that led to your collapse? Recollection of strange items in your home, some strange encounters that might have triggered a sudden decline in health? Something about his inquiry struck me as odd. He's trying to pry into a place he knew already existed. But then again, every inquiry I fielded over this morning has struck me as similarly intrusive. Why was the world so curious about me and my doings? I could not let it in. No, I don't know, man. Your memory will mend in time. A shadow crept across my uncle's face. I'm afraid I can't stay and talk much longer, but I'm glad to see you in such fine fettle. I must insist that you rest now. I cannot have my brother's only son deteriorate just when he's on the cusp of recovery. I don't really trust Gervais. As nice as he's been, I still think he is to blame for pretty much everything. At his insistence, I returned to bed, and I must admit that the conversation had drained me. I wanted to explore beyond the confines of my room, to hunt for clues of my father's killer, to uncover what strange machinations were grinding around me, but at that moment I was once again overcome with exhaustion. I lumbered towards the bed and slumped against the pillows. The lids of my eyes dropped and closed. As they did, I caught a final glimpse of my uncle breathing a sigh of relief. I let myself fall into unconsciousness once more, intent on continuing my investigation with renewed vigor. When I awoke, I would have to find my way out of these hospital grounds. When I awoke, the hospital was much less lively than it had been earlier. You're awake. I suppose a person can only sleep so much. I'd like to leave the hospital. Not possible. You're certainly recovering well, but we can't just unleash you into the world. Your wings are still clipped, young lord. You're free to walk about the other floors now if you wish. I sensed that the doctor would have released me onto all floors of the hospital if he was worried I would escape, but I had grown restless in the infirmary and resolved to explore the place at length. I could not stay here much longer. I gotta find a way out. Diedrich? He smiled at me, but it was not the broad, toothy smile that had greeted me during our last conversation. What's got you in such a sour mood? Oh, I'm fine. He drops his shoulders and turns away, making a comical display of his apparent sorrow. I've known you long enough to know when you're upset. I'm happy to see you back in Murns. You're one of my oldest friends after all, but here you come, a man of the world, having proved your mettle in the army, and here I am, just a lad still living in the same town I grew up in. Not that I mind, but I can see why the doctors are drawn to you. I haven't seen either of them talk to anyone as much as they've spoken with you. I'd wager one of them might even fancy you. That's hardly important. You don't know how good you have it. I wish I had the same easy fortune. You've plenty to offer, but sulking won't help. How is anyone going to see the kind heart of yours if you're busy frowning all the time? You're right, thank you. Even as a kid, you seem to have the luck. Someone in particular you fancy? You never know how someone feels. I can't imagine she'd have much interest in me. She's so personable. Easy conversation with anyone and everyone. Why would Sophia be interested in me of all people? I can think of a number of reasons why she might be interested in you. You're the kind-hearted sort I could see her with, as a matter of fact. Wouldn't that be something? You all right? Okay, this is just the same conversation. I shrugged and turned away. Sister Jute, I hope you've not come here to utter more blasphemy in my direction. Oh, actually, I wanted to discuss scripture with you. Heaven forbid, the last thing I need is some petty noble lecturing me on the finer points of faith. I get enough of that from the sisters. All right. Ooh. This guy's like stinking now. Oh, I can actually investigate this bookshelf now. Tried to move the bookshelf. Yes, I'm super strong. I planted my feet against the store, making sure to brace them against the protruding stone. With my shoulder pressed against the bookshelf, I surged forward. The great mass of wood began to slide. I found myself face to face with a hole just big enough to fit through. Through the hole, I got a stench which curled in through the nostrils and made its way to the back of my throat. I could not place its source, but it conjured images of rot and decay. Footsteps in the nearby halls. I considered I should recruit an accomplice for my expedition before pressing forward. Okay, I'm gonna stay where I am then. Can at least like check out the rest of the hospital first. Love in excess. Annie.
Hello again.
I suppose we patients are a handful, eh? Little Leland won't stop fretting about his friends, and Angelina practically refuses to receive any treatment. Could do with a bit of time off myself. What do you know about the adjacent rooms? Haven't you got more direct as the days go on? I suppose that shakes to mean you're getting comfortable around here. The rooms are in quarantine. They house our most dire patients. Seems there could be a plague brewing, and Dr. von Schwefelten is testing new treatments. The odd fellow is quite strict about us going in there only when needed. A furrowed brow suits you. You enjoy seeing me frustrated, is that it? Here I thought you lads from Rolstein were meant to be chivalrous. As the pretty doctor briefly looked away, she let a smile creep across her lips. You're far too capable to require my chivalry, Doctor. Can't argue with that assessment. I've got a fair bit of expertise tucked away into these sleeves. Not sure a lofty soldier such as yourself has squirreled away a few skills. I could tell she was warming to me by the way her eyes followed mine. Can we just keep hitting on her? The hospital is far too dour a place for someone like you. If you stay here long enough, it'll drain the rosy complexion right out of you. I'll have you know, this rosy complexion has seen me through a few Irish winters and a scorching Rolstein summer or two. Take more than some gray walls and dim lights for me to lose it. She giggles and moves in closer. Well, I better leave. Don't want any hanky-panky in this hospital. I can't trust anybody yet. Sleepy woman, sleepy woman. Sleepy woman. Gravely
Good
ill.
to see you.
If you continue at this pace, you'll become a fixture of the building soon enough, or worse, some accursed specter. I'm sure the doctor running the hospital would love that. My family might not be what it once was, but my uncle's still known for his deep pockets. If I become a specter, at least I could haunt you in the halls. That'd hardly be the worst haunting imaginable, though I trust you wouldn't knock over any valuable equipment. No promises. Can't expect much from ghosts. Do you know much about the adjacent rooms? It's a wretched place, truth be told. It houses the most sickly charges, those with contagious disease and possible plagues. The doctor is testing new treatments there, so we only go in when needed. I do hope you'll have a chance to meet the doctor soon. He's ever so insightful. All right. It's funny how, like, everything in this hospital is just trying to bang the nurses. The clock has stopped down here. This has got to be like the front door. As I approached the door, an uneasy sensation slithered into my nostrils and stung the corners of my eyes. An invisible fog thickened the air with apprehension and unease, and my stomach turned as if I was looking over the edge of a great chasm. In the past, I would have dismissed this as a trick of the mind, but now I suspect something more supernatural was coaxing the fear inside of me. Protection this potent must have been hiding something of great value or great horror. I had to get inside. Fear washed away as I moved. A ledger contains details on dates and medications. Is that it down here? A couple of paintings. A famous bridge. A pastoral scene. Turn the handle. I would need a key. What happened to, like, the soldier and the, I don't know, literally everybody else? All right, I'm going to be brave and do this myself. I found myself on the other side of the wall, confronted by a small office and several beds. I strode ahead. I walked into the room, my chest held high. I did not fear any of the interlopers that might be present. To my frustration, a guard stood in the hall, staring at me with his mouth agape.
I was wondering what was making that scrape and the noise. Illegal patients aren't allowed back here. Uncle von Salfeldan was very clear about that.
This is the sketchy guy who's smuggling stuff for the shroud at the docks. We're going to get along with this guy.
I'm Giovanni, a hospital guard.
Hospital guard. Ah, but you're not your uncle. Analyze level 3 and I still have to spend a point. He's an intelligent man, but I imagine you're more in touch with us common folk. You know how taxing it is to be stuck in a room, always having what others tell you. Surely you can show some pity to a restless convalescent. The sick folk here will hardly mind.
It's true, this place can be dreadfully dull. Alright, you can wander for a short spell.
Go about your business quickly. I'll not be getting trouble on your account. He turned away and leaned lazily against the walls. His eyes followed me for a moment, but he soon lost interest and disappeared into his own private boredom. I looked over the papers which littered the doctor's desk. Among them stood a leather-bound notebook which had clearly been in Conrad's possession for many years. Seemed to contain his recollection from his time as a military doctor. Many of the accounts seemed to highlight particular tragedies of war which had left an impression on the young physician. Much of his writing was almost tragically poetic. Later sections were more clinical, slowly losing the tenderness of their earlier prose, and von Schalfelden ruminated on the costs of war and how they could be mitigated. One expert seemed to put great stock in the idea of a quick and decisive strike favoring unconventional methods. As I delved deeper into the notebook, the pages became more chaotic and speculative. He seemed to be researching extra-natural methods for striking at the enemy and winning a quick surrender. Strange illustrations littered the pages, and among them I could not help but notice a page that was vaguely familiar. The excerpt depicted a ritual known as the Dominion of Phobos, which repelled would-be interlopers by means of creating an extra-natural sense of dread. The illustrations, characters, and notes scribbled in the margins reminded me of a page of my own spellbook whose location was presently unknown to me. I thought that this page could illuminate what was written in the book I had inherited from my father, so I ripped the paper clean along the binding and tucked it into my pocket for safekeeping. It would give me a way to peacefully deflect prying eyes from the cemetery, allowing me to conduct my work there without fear of discovery by wandering townsfolk, a safer solution than grave mist, which has shown itself to be quite dangerous. As I closed the notebook, I heard the scrape of metal just below. A heavy set of keys revealed themselves below the papers. One of these might unlock the door out into the city. I hope the keys would work on the front door of the hospital. It would be unwise to remain here when the plague doctor returned. Books on warfare and disease as well. Do we keep hitting on the redhead? Do you even need to ask that question with only one possible answer? I mean, you gotta be careful, right? I can't trust anybody. Plague, 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 plague. Plague. Plague, plague, plague. Should we use plagues in war? The man's skin hung over the large frame of his body, rendered thin from weeks of bed rest. Yaroslav.
I'm not patient. Lucky you.
Oh, you must be the sailor that Drago
You
mentioned.
know Drago? Him good man.
He said you were hoping to get back to your fiance.
Something like this. But I think now I will never leave this room. The disease is strong, and the guards are vicious.
What disease do you have?
I no say. They bring me here after I catch fever. I think it only heat from sun and too many days at
The
sea.
doctor is creating diseases.
But when I wake, these little boils have grown all over my body.
The doctor is trying to weaponize COVID. If I don't hanky-panky now, I might not be able to hanky-panky later. All right, I'll see what I can do.
I've never seen such things. I think the doctor make them. I think he give them to us.
Yeah, I think so too. He turns sour as the extortion of speaking war on him. How do you feel?
Terrible. How else? They say it's hospital. I wager more even believe this.
Whatever he does, it makes
But
us worse.
once I've been in prison better than this.
Interesting.
Yes, you can still live here, I think. Lucky you.
Battles, collected readings, a treatise on poison. Despite its grandiose title, this was badly written work, clumsily describing the collection and use of common substances. Just as I shrug and close the book, I notice a loose page sticking out, covered in a spidery scrawl of some foreign script. Well, I gotta take this. I noticed the similarity of the glyphs had with those of the torpor page in my spellbook. This was another Zoroastrian work, seemed to relate to torpor itself in some way. I took the page so I could study it together with my spellbook when I had it back in my possession. Oh, I can't talk to Giovanni. A foul stench assaulted me as I opened the chest. Rags from plague victims. I'm taking all of those. Alive or dead, I could not tell. Young man on the bed of delirium, barely registered any presence.
No more doctor. Von Saufhelden.
Are you a new doctor? Have you brought us some new medicines?
The other doctor's not treated you well.
Oh, they're kind enough. The ones with the fiery hair. Oh, even the nuns.
The big quiet one.
But the big quiet one never says a word. And his remedies, oh, they sting the most.
This is locked. Okay, I had to spend a lot of points in here. Uh-oh. Here we go. All right, let's go hanky-panky.
Hello again.
I do believe you're the best part of my stay here. Even above the staffing nurses you report back from utter delirium would rate me higher than that, would you? The normally sharp-tongued doctor stuttered over her words for a moment, then smiled and blushed a little. It's very nice to hear. I think I feel the same. Well, I hope we can see more of you when we leave this place. I hope you won't need to. I mean, I hope you don't become ill is all. I would also love to see you again once you're no longer a patient. She continues to chatter, overtaking a nervous energy, which was quite attractive. In time, I have off me, which is not so substantial, but it does exist, and when I have it, I certainly wouldn't mind. Kiss her. I eased forward, closing my eyes as I leaned into her. I could feel the warmth of her body grow as I drew closer, and at last our lips skirted to one another, tender at first, but then more firm. Before long, our tongues reached out and explored each other too. When I retreated from our embrace, I found the doctor was smiling at me, her eyes misty with happiness. That's not quite what I was expecting from the day's work, but it's a very pleasant surprise just the same. I should get back to my duties. Achievement unlocked, hooked up with Dr. Annie. She ran a finger across my lips as she turned away, as though they were just testing the veracity of what had happened. I in turn smiled after her. Now the real question is, do I go make out with her brother as well? Probably not. Let's get the hell out of here. Tried the keys. The third attempt, the lock clicked open and the cool, fresh sea air of Marnes greeted me at last. There was little time to enjoy the present breeze. I had matters to attend to and adversaries to best.
Can you spare a coin for a poor old woman? Thank you kindly.
Here you go. Do I not have an outfit? Put on some pants here, you know. Might not be a bad idea. At least now I don't look like just like some homeless guy wandering through the place. Oh man, if I've been asleep for 3 days. Do you think Irving has my death shroud?
What?
Yes, here's the item you requested. I should give that pompous teacher a good scare. Thanks, homie. Now we can look like a real necromancer. Is this my home? It sure is. My guy is very dizzy. Hi, Mama. Nope, she doesn't care.
Can I help you, my lord?
Good to see you recovered after your illness. Thank you, Albrecht. Have I not done all these? What about the letter of the debt from Oman? What would he owe money to your father for, and why not pay it? There's something unwholesome about the nature of the debt. I need to take an indirect path in figuring it out. This is the mark of the fish guard, smugglers and racketeers. What would Master Zelig have to do with them? Okay, that didn't help me at all. I found a ritual about the seance. Must take place in my father's final resting place. I found a means of fashion to fashion some protection for myself. Would you visit me at the family crypt? No. Can we discuss the household finances further? I don't really want to sell any of the family stuff is the thing. And I don't know if I'm like missing out on something by not doing that, but need to recruit a friend. I need to go do the seance, but I need someone with me. Check in with Garnet at the tavern. I'm missing all my items. My lost spellbook and witch's knife. The witch herself may know their whereabouts, as I recall her presence when I fell into the coma. I require a wand cut from a hazel tree growing in a graveyard. I must cut it with a witch's knife, inscribe it with magical symbols, and have it ritually enhanced. And I need to obtain fly agaric mushrooms for the Dominion of Phobos. Is my skeleton downstairs? This is what... This is one of the big questions I have. No, but you can cast the animate ritual here. Which I had a feeling was the case. But I surely won't be able to. Yeah, where is my Sketlington? Alright, we better visit the tavern, which is locked because it's morning. Maybe we go to the north gate and go see if the witch is out here. She might be, but no promises. Last time she just like showed up on the road. I feel like just in case I should probably... Oh! A fluttering of wings. A bird swooped past me. A young woman emerged from behind a tree. What happened to me before I ended up in the hospital? Seems like a dream, a dark chase I recall, in great danger. Please ask my sisters when you see them? Oh, so they're all 3 different witches. Please meet us at our hut. We kept your items safe there. You should seek a trail in the forest near the farm's westernmost field. I will send a guide to lead you. Look to the sky. Here? So I don't have weapons on me. Yeah, they took all of my swords. I don't know how far out this road I want to go. Oh, I can't go any further. Very good, mum. Let's head back into town then. Yeah. Yeah, it's a real good question. Like, where is my skeleton? I took a lot of effort putting him together. It's not easy to just, like, get a bunch of candles made out of human flesh. Creep into a crypt to get that. Ah! I suddenly become aware of an old path into the forest. I'm not sure how it had been visible. Not been visible the last time I came path. A huge crow swooped along, seeming to say, like, yo, come this way. A hazel tree! I could make a wand out of that. A mushroom. Fly agaric. Excellent. Dude, this place is everything I need. The crow had landed here and was sitting on a rocky outcropping, regarding me with intelligent eyes. Although I was not very close, it had something shiny around its neck. Bird. A stag? Many pairs of eyes regarded me from the depths. Some were still, some flitted about and reappeared at unnatural speed. The crow seemed agitated and swooped around me. It seemed to urge me to take the path northwards. Okay. These are other types of mushrooms. Ah. The bird led me to an old cottage. It swooped towards it and alighted on the wall beside a woman I had not noticed until now. This was the witch I met earlier. Ah, very good.
Yes, my dear.
You made it back to me alive. This is good. They call me Rosario. I was one of those who saved you when you fell into a coma. I have with me a book. Did you see it? I recovered it for you as well as your antheme before leaving you near the hospital. Or sorry, my how am I meant to be pronouncing this? Athame? Athame. Okay. You must be more careful if you hope to progress far on the path you have started. She looked sternly at me, but then lightened her tone. Child, do not fret. I can help you find your way, at least for a time. Your items are in the chest you see beside me. Why do you hide out here in the forest? Outlawed by the Baron, he fears what he does not understand. I have a question about my coma. Who were the other voices? Where were we? Others interested in your progress in a space between the world and the realm of the dead. Your clumsy ritual was too much for your psychic strength. Certain forces sought to take profit from you. The danger was great for a time, but you have powerful allies, as you've seen. Already your abilities are stronger. The next time you perform that ritual, you will succeed. How did I get to the hospital? We brought you there. How did you know I was in trouble? We felt the threads of magic being tugged. It was clear to anyone who knew how to listen what a great calamity was unfolding. You're lucky that those who arrived first were benign to your cause. I seek to perform a ritual to enhance a wand of hazel. Could you advise me? I took the page out from a doctor's journal and showed it to her. Ah, very good. A witch's hazel wand is a powerful implement in the right hands. I can help you with a ritual of enhancement. We can use an altar I retain for these purposes, but you must bring me the necessary items. I've not yet gathered everything. I need sulfur and a sacrificial victim. Oh, man. Torpor. All of my weapons, as well as my poison seeds. And my yeast. Okay, not all of this is illegal. Is wearing this sick death shroud illegal? Oh, no, I can't even wear it. Can I? Oh, I can. Ooh, my hat clips right through it, though. So it looks kind of goofy.
Yes, my dear.
You mentioned your two sisters. Sisters in a way, one young, one old, three faces of my being, you might say. Three sisters in shadows embrace, devoted to Hecate, mistress of space. The maiden dances with a youthful glow. Her laughter sparks where wild winds blow. The mother, warm and with the wisdom deep, guards the hearth where secrets sleep. Her hands weave spells with nurturing care, binding love and fate in midnight air. The crone with spite and eyes of fire, her voice a curse, her wrath entire. She walks with power, the end in sight, a harbinger cloaked in moonless night. Threefold power, a coven complete. Hecate smiles when their paths meet. Sick. Can I go inside your hut? No. I didn't think so, but I had to test. Good redhead doctor, would you like to take a trip out of town? A short stroll through the countryside? Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly who my victim's gonna be. What's down this way? You know what? Save. Now it's down this way. Or is this just the way to my home? Oh, no, it's totally not. It's like a Stonehenge here. Damn, dude, this countryside is full of dark magics. Baron Gervais is doing a really bad job keeping all the dark magic at bay. I'll tell you that much for sure. Doesn't Hecate have like 3 faces? I'm not sure. Might depend on like her, the interpretation of her. Now, it said I had to hew a hazel tree from a graveyard, didn't it? Okay, first things first is like, where is my spellbook? Dominion of Phobos. This incantation invokes the power of Phobos, the ancient Greek god of fear and panic, son of Ares, the god of war. To protect by fear an area from intruder, the sorceress must boil a mushroom of fey agaric in a pot of water while meditating their power through a hazel wand. A magical wand is required, which must be cut from a hazel tree in a graveyard. The wand helps the sorcerer focus their power. The wand must be cut and trimmed with a witch's black-handled knife, while the following characters must be inscribed upon it. The instrument should finally be asperged with holy water, fumigated with vapors of sulfur, and stained with sacrificial blood. Oh, I'm gonna sacrifice a goat. That's maybe a lot easier. The blood may be obtained by sacrificing a human or beast on an altar, holy or unholy, though use of a witch's knife and collecting the blood from the creature as it dies. The repair spell we can cast. Seance we can cast. This is like a cave spell. Oh, this is like pass through walls. No idea what that is. That's voodoo. This is the plague. This must be what he was plaguing. Spider venom. This involves like the eyes, ears, and teeth of a sacrificed hanged victim in an alcohol still with something else. And then this is the lich stuff, which is like a baby, a phylactery. And I don't know what this is. This is like going to space. Mandrakes leading the undead. All the good bits. Yeah, it has to come from a graveyard. That's what I thought. I don't think I can get rid of items, so. There is the graveyard up here, which might have a hazel tree. Honestly, if it does, we could just do that, grab the goat. We gotta find sulfur. Probably gonna need that in town. Also, I'd like to go into this crypt again and see if that spooky ghost will talk to me now. Because before he was like, the veil is still too strong. But now I'm like, is it? Yeah, I see. I can animate a corpse here, but I need to bring a Sketlington. Can't wait to start murdering people in the slums and bringing them back to life. I need a witch's knife. Yeah, I got my witch's knife back. Clarence Pugh.
Familiar.
Ah.
Far away. You know it. Know it. But if you know it, you must know what happened. Must tell me.
Who are you?
I am. I do not know.
I'm afraid I only know the name.
No, not just the name. The place as well.
I mean, I kind of know what happened to you.
This place where.
Or at least what they say happened.
What is it that was done to me here? Are you the one who made me this? No, the smell is different. Only flowers and honey then.
Flowers and honey?
Too much death on you. Not you, but someone else did this to me.
I mean, it could be the young witch, but the spirit swirled around me, its claw-like hand dragging across my skin and leaving a shallow scar along the length of my arm before evaporating into the mist. It then reformed before me, a strange and many-toothed maw gaping in my direction, shrieking into the dark.
Join me, then, if you are not here to free me.
The wraith struck towards me, piercing my chest with a misty spike of its arms. A cold chill spread from within my breast and began to creep outwards, turning my veins blue as it moved. The spirit, now shrieking, pressed deeper, but the amorphous face churned in agitation. With each deepening of its attack, it grew more and more irate until at last it broke from me in a swirl of fog. After a brief silence, it reappeared, more corporeal, a hazy skeleton of obsidian bone.
There is too much death in you already.
Sick.
I cannot give you more. Cannot make you join me.
I'm not the one you want to punish, but we can find them together. Find the one who bound me here, the one who did something to me in this place? He looks around confused and begins to mutter to himself strange whispers. I wonder if I might be able to find any clues about its past. I searched the mausoleum. Yeah, I'm for sure spending a skill point here. The small pile of bones was from a body that was long ago, but something was buried just below it. I pushed away the bones, felt them crumble at my touch, and then was confronted with a long sewing needle made of ivory. I brought it to the Wraith. I have seen this, know this, use this to make my clothes, the clothes of my children. But she could not. Was she the one who put me here? The agitated vibrations of the Wraith's shadowy form slowed, entering a state of lament. I have been bound here so long, bound by anger. It's gone now, but still I linger. Because you are the one who unbound me? Take me then, you who smell of death. Perhaps when your anger fades, so shall I. New spell acquired. Summon Wraith. Raise the Wraith of the 17th century Clarence Pew. The apparition faded, but I could feel its shadowy form beside me. Its head hung low in private scrutiny. I felt its sorrow against the side of my neck, ready to call upon when needed, ready to serve me. Unbelievable. We got skeletons? We got wraiths? My dudes, we're becoming real necromancers. Lavender? Don't really know I need any more of that, but maybe I could sell it. So, I gotta find sulfur. And I guess I gotta find this graveyard with a hazel tree. Which, I don't know, part of me thinks like maybe it's gonna end up being in town. But one step at a time. Guess that was a good skill point to spend. Yeah, summon Wraith. Yeah, that sounds like it was probably a good skill point to spend. I've been talking to that Wraith for so long, just constantly going back in there. And I've never had any success with him. He was always like, well, I mean, I slowly like figured out who Clarence Pew was. Still don't really know what happened to him. I mean, they say that he died. He killed his entire family and then took his own life. Here we go. This is a hazel tree in a graveyard. Some free bones as well. Don't mind if I do. Okay. Sulfur? So, let's go into town. I can probably buy sulfur in the market. These people must be like, wow, I didn't let him out in... wow, we didn't let him out that way.
Oh there, goodly sir. Can I?
What do you got?
See here.
You just have food. What about you, Ekram? Why'd you travel so far?
There is too much. I have seen many of my people. Mans is a safer place. I only hope that my fallen brothers and sisters find peace in
What do you have for sale?
The next life.
Kaya and allspice. You see any hope for your people who remain at home?
I know not. We are truly positive by nature, but under the fist of the European slave trade, what can we do? Even our sacred island, the souls of our departed dwell there before their journey to the afterlife, and now our enslaved dwell there too, as they await the big ships which sail away west and north. A purgatory indeed.
I got an achievement for learning about his homeland. Where is my skeleton?
Welcome,
I don't know.
Sir. I have fabric with pleasure.
Honestly, that is one of the great mysteries we are facing right now. Where the hell am I going to find sulfur? Assorted goods? I mean, that does sound like the kind of place that might have sulfur. Lockpicks, hats, pumpkins, carrots. The apothecary, maybe? Ah, do you know where I can get some sulfur? They make gunpowder from it. Try the general store. All right, thanks. Every time I ask her something, she's like, I'm super suspicious of you now because you keep asking me questions for like witches stuff.
Welcome.
You sell sulfur?
Wares if you see fit.
Are you making gunpowder?
And do not be afraid to ask if you need any help.
Oh my god.
No, not at all. I thank you for your patronage.
Ask the sailors or ask a guard. How about the guard who has a huge crush on me?
The barracks are close to civilians.
Sorry to bother you. I'm trying to get some sulfur. I thought you might have some. We're not allowed to give it out. Her eyes lingered on me a moment, then she saw me notice. She blushed and turned away.
Excuse me, my lord. The barracks are close to civilians. Excuse me, my lord.
God damn it. I'm going to have to get these from the fishmonger, aren't I? She keeps trying to take my fingers or pimp me out to people. I'd really rather not deal with the fishwife if I could avoid it. Blacksmith might have some. It's not a bad idea. Yeah,
Aye. Is that so?
No. He does have a halberd. And iron helmets. But I don't feel like they really fit my, like, necromancer drip yet. Gerhardt?
Yes?
How's your lovely daughter doing these days? Emile, isn't it? She's doing well, completed her studies and graduated with honor. What's it to you? Oh, we were friends when I lived in Barnes. I thought I'd look her up. Not that I approve, mind you, but she is due to return home this winter. Interesting. I wonder if I should tell him that Flip is in town.
Whoa, watch out. Heavy crates being stacked.
Sorry, boss. Salvador, Rebecca. Darius, are you
Out
the
of
guy?
my way.
No.
Of work to do.
I guess our homie at the dock is still not here. Become a battlemancer? I mean, we're such like a Gronk because we're a soldier that I was thinking about like full plate and then like the mace. Yeah, having a real like Arthas Lich King vibe to me. Boris Jamal. Yeah. I mean, unless this other guy or like the Baron's guy. Trick him. I just joined the guards. I was told to report to you for materials. They must have been mistaken. You knew Tobias the Quartermaster. Who is Tobias the Quartermaster?
My lord, the Baron is still keeping his own counsel.
Do you know where to get any sulfur? He would not negotiate this. Tobias the Quartermaster. I'm gonna have to pay the fish guard for sure. Unless... What about the children? Could they steal me sulfur? I don't know how they would. I mean, I think that's every route we've tried. Has to be a merchant at a pub. Well, that would be the fishmonger. All right, we'll pass some time. Gentlemen? No, you have no new information for me. What about Gustav?
How can I help you, boy?
Do you know where to get sulfur? Yes! 15 crowns. Think about it. Okay, the fishwife is not here. I think I have to talk to him in order to talk to the fishwife. What about Merlin? I want to meet the fishwife. Oh my god. It's like I have to wait a full day to talk to her. How much money do I have? 67 bucks.
How can I help you, boy?
I owe the fishwife like 120, but... Alright, screw it. I'm running out of other options, so... He'll do. Maja? So... Oh yeah, we gotta talk to Garnet. The diagrams, this might be a creature, but I also need... Like, I would just, like, casually open this up all the time in the middle of the street. My spooky forbidden book. Cut and trimmed. Spears with holy water. I have holy water, fumigated with vapors of sulfur, and then stained with sacrificial blood. Okay, so I think I just need the sulfur. So I think I have everything I need, other than a goat. Let's just go check in with Garnet.
There you are.
Tables need clearing. Cleared the table, saw several of the meals largely intact. Thought about eating the food, but then I felt really guilty about that. Foria, Leonardo, couple, food. Half-eaten food, Xandros Moser. A drunk from before, his eyes clear and sharp, he had the countenance of a pristine aristocrat. Why, yes, indeed, young man. A draught of ale would do wonders to quench my present thirst. I steeled myself for the prolonged rambling. Perhaps this time you could refrain from telling me about your inventions. I'm quite sure I don't know what you're talking about, young man. Why would a man waste his time creating things that do not already exist? We have already more than sufficient. The world doesn't need more complicated contractions. Interesting. So Xandros is like...
Xandros Moser.
He's like a smart man until he becomes a drunk. Do I have to bring him this beer? I don't actually know. No. Now, so many bedrooms up here that I have not explored. Man. Convince a wife about a money-making scheme. Is that it?
Ah, there you are.
What am I missing here? Couple? Fighting about a wife. I don't understand. This table obviously is gross, but...
Well, hello there. Ah, there you are.
Is there like a secret downstairs I don't know about? Ah, God damn it. All right, whatever. Oh, half-eaten food. There we go. It's just hidden underneath the thing for the bubble.
Ah, there you are.
Fistful of coins. Not very many. Diedrich! He's out of the hospital. Seems that Diedrich's stay at the hospital had ended along with mine.
Hello.
Heard all manner of talk about the commotion at the hospital. What the devil did you get up into there? I just was looking around. Must have been quite the investigation. The doctor was livid after you left, and those guards twice as mean as before. I don't know why you stayed in there as long as you did, Diedrich. You're much better off resting at home. Everyone who goes into that place is either sick forever or comes out with some fresh flaw. At least Diedrich is as sweet as ever. I think he slept through all that fuss you caused, you lumbering softy. She smiled at him and he smiled back, his cheeks flushed and his eyes misty with a gentle happiness. And I'd wager they didn't feed you nearly enough in there. We'll have to order something from Garnet to fill you up. Have you heard any news of my uncle? I only just got free. You must realize Diedrich here has his own worries. There's his grand and certain distractions as well. She tousled her hair with her hand. Seen the doctors around? Annie came by the library. She wanted to see if you had abandoned her like some common rake. Think she'll be glad to see you're still putting around Mars. What's a sweet girl like that seeing a lad like you, Turg? Doesn't she know what a troublemaker you've become as of late? You know, Diedrich isn't just a messenger boy. He's got his own concerts tumbling through his head, particularly right now this afternoon. Let's talk about something else then. Sort of us in the middle of a chat. Not that we don't enjoy your company. It's just we're having a rendezvous. The smile on his face was as broad as the city's port. Something in me recoiled at his expression of joy. How could a man be so happy while my sleep and waking hours were tormented by whispers from the grave? I'll leave you lovebirds stew then. Have a nice afternoon. They'll make cute zombies together. So, Northgate? Let's go steal a goat. I think they're just up here. Yeah. Goats. Just the goat I'm after. I couldn't grab the goat. I would need something suitable in my hands. What about an apple? I bet goats like apples. I held out the apple and managed to entice the goat into following me. Oh no, it's a long escort quest. Oh no, thank God it runs after you. I've truly never been so afraid in my life when that started. Is this the right way? No, this is not the right way. That's the Devil's Wood. We need to head to the witch's hut. Min? Is this the witch's hut? Oh, wow. Wow, this was really right here, hey? They did a good job hiding this. Minecraft escort. What about this stag? Could I just take this stag with me? Come on, goat. You keep following me. There's an apple to be had. Hi, Rosario. I think I have everything.
Yes, my dear.
I have everything we need. She gestures for me to follow. Her body begins to change before my eyes. She shifted and warped as we walked until she arrived at the crude stone altar as a threatening old hag. Okay, so they're three, but they're also the same. A small mound of kindling lay upon the altar. Rosario muttered something about her breath, under her breath, and the kindling flickered with small flames. Holding out the hazel wand, she sprinkled it with holy water, and then casting some sulfur into the flame, she waved the wand over the yellow smoke which spat from the fire. The goat was struggling to escape at this point. Rosario whispered something in its ear, and immediately it calmed. It climbed compliantly onto the altar and lay down with its neck exposed. Taking my May, the witch plunged the blade into the victim and lay the wand in the blood, which puddled on the altar. The ritual was complete, and I had my magic wand. I now had the means to perform the dominion of Phobos in the cemetery to safely keep interlopers away while I conducted my work. And thereafter, protected by skeletal minions, I should be able to venture into my father's crypt for the seance ritual. Chapter 7, Repair. You think the redheaded doctor would have been a better choice? Protect your work from interlopers. Use the ritual hotspot at the entrance to the cemetery. Okay. From chapter 7, you can also advance the time of day from within caves, tunnels, and crypts. I feel like the ritual tunnel is the next. Prepare some reanimated skeletons to accompany me into my father's crypt and protect me from ghouls. Lol. I don't need reanimated skeletons to protect me in my father's crypt. I have a 1 width wide tunnel to protect me. Oh, I think... Is there more? Oh, yeah, I guess it's a new chapter, so we can get paid again. Okay. Dope. Which? The dolmen. Raining. Thundering. I mean, we're still gonna have to find Diedrich to, I don't know, man. I feel like if I show Diedrich a bunch of skeletons, he's gonna be stressed out. I summon a wraith around him. Something tells me that's not gonna work for long. The tunnel. I know I don't need to take the tunnel, but I just like it. Can't just like cast this here, do I? No, I do need a skeleton. Jar. Ancient Egyptian mummification. Okay.
Where is that damn cook? Zelig will be back soon, and there's nothing to eat.
Sleeping peacefully.
Can I help you, my lord?
Oh, a message came from Garnet a short time ago. Apparently you're needed there urgently as they're very busy with people shuddering from the storm. All right. That makes sense. So, we got to check in with Garnet. We have to find Diedrich and get him to come to the ritual. I think we have everything for the ritual seance. Even though it is still saying me it needs like something interred with my father's ashes. I am pretty sure we had found something that did that. That being said, maybe we didn't? Oh, was my father's crypt where we fought all those lizards? All those fish people? No, I'm pretty sure we got something down there. My father's ring, yeah. Which gives us extra mana when we use it. Mana boost when worn or held. Yeah, but I'll get in trouble if I walk around with that. Ah, I can keep my wand in my hand, which also gives me more mana, but I also feel like wandering around with that is like a dodgy thing. So I think let's plan to go swing by Garnet's, find Diedrich, probably at Garnet's, and then make our way over to the graveyard after that. It's the perfect spooky weather. Maybe Turg's new redheaded lover could come to the crypt. Also possible. She doesn't know better. Maybe it would be a nice date. Black-handled, double-bladed dagger used in neo-pagan and Wiccan rituals. It's the right vibe, right? I think we got a plan. Let's save. Save a new Turg. And then we'll come back tomorrow and continue on our journey and do some more shenanigans. We got wraiths, we got skeletons to raise, we got wraiths to summon. We're really becoming a proper necromancer. Until then, bye-bye.